Hello, everyone. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Since everybody else, you know, puts their feelings on days of the week, I said I might as well do it too. Happy Sunday. But with me, every day is happy. So I'll be saying Happy Monday. How many slaves you would think will be saying that? Hey, Happy Monday. Not many. Only people that understand days of the week are just days of the week. None of them. No day is special than any other day. Saturday is no different than Monday. Same thing. Get up in here. Today's the day you get to get your personal finance questions answered. You can even get answers to why your relationship's not working. I can give you that answer too. I promise you I can give you that answer. Because everything leads back to money. I promise you that, especially for slaves. Everything leads back to money. They always say money is the number one reason for divorce. No, it's not. It's debt. It's not money. If people just listen to that, money is the number. What do you mean? They get, hey, these people have too much money and we're going to get a divorce. All you got to do is look at because people think money has something to do with a healthy marriage or something like that. When all they have to do is step back and say, hey, why did Jeff Bezos is a billionaire and him and his wife got divorced? They have billions of dollars. That right there should tell slaves money has nothing to do with it. Oh, he had to split this many billions to give to his wife and blah, blah, blah. You can hear all the slaves going, oh my God, he had to give up half. They don't even care about money. Who cares? I guarantee you when it was time to split, that was probably already planned. They probably brought that to their lawyers. I bet you a judge didn't decide that. They decided that. What's up, Quentin? What's up, Dale? Welcome, welcome. Give you guys a few more minutes and then I'm going to introduce myself and then we're going to get started. Later this evening, I'm going to be on Young Grump's channel. Let me make sure of this time because it was 4:30 now. Time has changed. Let's see here. All right, he hasn't gotten back to me yet. Okay. Anyway, get up in here. Usually people get up in here faster, but either way, I'm gonna get started anyway. Jeff Bezos already made back the money he gave. I know, right? He already made. They don't. I promise you, Dale. When you got that much money, they don't look at money the way people with no money look at money, right? Because once you understand money, you'll know money doesn't even exist. It really doesn't. It's just, how do you explain that to a slave? Hey, money, paper money really doesn't exist for you. For people that understand, yes, paper money exists for us, right? But when you're in debt, nothing exists for you. So if slaves don't know paper money doesn't exist, can you imagine? Because like with cryptocurrency, the banks came up with cryptocurrency, right? Imagine what they can do with money that doesn't even exist, that they have full control over, right? No guarantees, nothing's insured, nothing. And slaves just dive head first. It's not backed by anything. Every now and then somebody comes in and they say somebody stole 50 million in the cryptocurrency. That's just all that's all stuff for slaves to believe, right? Because even though they just say that so they can hear this, so slaves can hear this large number and be like, whoa, they stole 50 million. I wonder how much is really in there. And then they start investing more. They just fall for the stupid nonsense that they tell them. And nobody can prove anything. And they still do it. It's crazy, man. They got full control. Imagine what they're going to do with that. Slaves for life. Anyway, My name is LJ Young, and I'm a 100% debt-free motivational speaker and personal finance educator. I help people become financially free by helping them mathematically see outside what I call the debt matrix. And the debt matrix is a place where everybody lives that believes in credit and debt, financing everything that goes down in value, but can't figure out why they're living paycheck to paycheck. It can't be those 2 car payments. It can't be the cell phone payments with along with the free iPad, all the stuff they said was free on your cell phone package. Yeah, all that stuff you're paying for, all that. That's what's keeping you in debt. That's what it is. Okay, that's why you're in debt. Anyway, all those people live in the debt matrix. That's where I lived for the first 40 years of my, adult, well, 18 to 40 at least, my adult life. Until one day I woke up, found Dave Ramsey. Dave Ramsey basically said, take the math that you learned in grade school and apply it to your finances and you'll win with money. And that's what I did. Followed his baby steps. Now I'm free. Now I took Dave Ramsey's principles, pulled out the religion part because mathematics doesn't care about religion. Religion has nothing to do with mathematics. Okay. And when it comes to your money, you only use mathematics. You never break the laws of mathematics ever when it comes to your money, ever. That's what I do now, and I make sure people see it. First, what I do, the one thing about my gift, I can prove it with mathematics. And what I do is also help people understand that they are slaves. Okay, a slave doesn't. There's 2 types of slave. There's unconscious slave and there's a conscious slave. Unconscious slaves wander around the debt matrix, not trusting math and not even knowing they're not trusting math. Okay, that's that's why it's called unconscious. Conscious slaves they were once unconscious. They came to a channel like this one. SMD is the only one on YouTube that'll bring you out the debt matrix. Okay, SMD is probably the only one that knows the debt matrix even exists. Okay, or talks about it at least. Then they see they wake up, find out they're a slave. They're like, oh crap, and then they do whatever it takes, take 5 jobs, 80 hours of overtime to do whatever it takes to get out of debt. Right. So how to know if you're a slave? Okay, especially unconscious. I'm talking to the unconscious slaves. How do you know you're a slave? Add up all your savings, add up all your debt, mortgage, student loans, tickets, back child support, taxes, blah, blah, blah. All of it's debt, right? Add it all up and then go savings minus debt equals how much money you have in real life. Okay. Your whole life is in the negative. If you are under zero, you are a slave because you cannot live on your own when you're in the negative. That's mathematically impossible for you to live on your own. So everything in your life is borrowed. All the way down to a candy bar. Everything's borrowed because you're in the negative. That means somebody owns you. Now you're probably thinking, who owns me? Log into your credit report, go to your Credit Karma, log into your Credit Karma. Those are all the lists of your owners. Your credit report is it's called an owner's ledger. People in the debt matrix don't know that. Outside the debt matrix, you understand that's your owner's ledger. Those are all the people that own a piece of you because you are the stock. And then when you do good, when you pay their money back, they reward you with a score that means something only to you. But if you don't pay them back right, then they take points away from you. That's how it works. That's how they treat their slaves. That's the unconscious slave. Conscious slaves understand this now. They know credit reports don't mean shit. Credit scores don't mean nothing. They doing whatever to not be a slave. This is how I help people come out. And then this is how I help you realize you're a slave. Well, if you're under zero, you're a slave. Yep, that means your whole house, your car, everything you have that you're making payments on is a mathematical illusion because it breaks all the laws of mathematics. You're probably thinking, if I'm in the negative, how have I been contributing to my retirement plan? You haven't. You can't. That's mathematically impossible. You can't contribute to your retirement if you have a mortgage. That's impossible. Well, I log in, I see money. I know you think you do, but it's not whatever money you're seeing, it has nothing to do with you. It's not yours. You understand? Because that's impossible. You can't. You can't contribute to a 401k while having a mortgage. If you want to stop, if you want to stop being an unconscious slave, walking around the debt matrix, clueless. If you want to stop being financially abused by yourself, okay, they're not. Let me make sure you understand something that's real clear. I love the financial system. It's beautiful. You guys don't even understand. This shit is a absolute masterpiece. Absolute masterpiece that takes full advantage of slaves by your own by your own self, because you're an unconscious slave. Remember, unconscious slaves don't trust math, and they don't even know they don't trust math. If the system favors those who trust mathematics, if you don't trust math, this financial system is going to financially abuse you to your own doing. The banks are not doing anything to you. The IRS is not doing anything to you. Taxes are not keeping you down. None of that is true. Absolutely none of that is true. That's a program. That's a program. You get out of debt, you'll see the purpose of it all, why it's there, why so much over here, not over there. You will clearly see it. What's up, retired? If you want to stop being that unconscious slave walking around believing that you'll never pay off your student loans, because if that's you right now, if you really believe that you're never going to pay off your student loans, they got you. You have been assimilated. You are now accepted of being in the system, the wrong side of the system, until you're dead. That's what you've accepted. If you've accepted putting yourself in one of them student loan forgiveness program, those are called slave camps. That's where all the slaves go that have absolutely, completely given up on ever paying off their student loans. Absolutely. Because anybody that would go to a place and say, hey, I'm willing to give you 10 years of my life because I don't believe whatever the student loan amount is, it doesn't really fucking matter. If you've said to yourself, I don't believe in 10 years of my lifetime on earth, I don't believe I'm going to earn that much money in 10 years to pay my student loans off, they have you exactly where they want you, the lost. They don't even guarantee anything. 99% of them get denied. 99%. They don't promise anything. They don't promise you that they're going to do it. They even, check this out, they even put up, said, hey, any student loans forgiven, they do it right in your fucking face too. I mean, it's so bad. They do it right in your face. I remember reading something that's about any forgiven student loans that are going to be forgiven are going to be not taxable up to 2025. If 99% of them are getting denied, who cares about the taxes being denied? It doesn't matter. But a slave will read that and they'll be like, oh my God, if I get my student loans forgiven, I won't have to pay the taxes on it. It's never going to happen for you, slave. I want you guys to understand something. They're never going to free you, ever. So when you get one of those student loan forgiveness programs, it's a slave camp. You got to do everything they say. They're going to tell you where to work. They're going to tell you how much you're going to make. They tell you everything. And you got to say, yes, yes, sir. Yes, master. Yes, yes, master. And this master is the colorblind slave master. Okay, don't get it twisted, thinking what I just said had anything to do with black. The nothing. That is the colorblind slave master. All it sees is green. It can tell if you're a man and man or a woman. That's about it. As long as you can produce, that's all it cares about. And then at the end of 10 years, they could just tell you denied. And guess what slaves do? They sign up again. They got some of those student loan forgiveness programs. They go between 10 and 25 years. Do you know how bad a system is going to financially abuse you once it finds out you got student loans for 25 years? Mm, mm, mm. You're going to get done so dirty, so dirty. Ooh, so dirty. Hello, Yolanda. Hello, Poindexters. What's going on? Let me put this link up here because today's you guys' day, and I don't want to be here on because I got to do another show today. Poindexter says I got a coworker saying Biden needs to stop playing and cancel the student loan. She in her 50s calling it a forever loan, talking about getting a Porsche and a condo. See, they be saying stuff. Slaves say stuff that don't even make any sense. It's against the laws of mathematics for slaves to own anything. If you have student loans, you cannot own a house. You can't. That's against the laws of mathematics. That's why slaves can't own anything. You can't own a business. You can't own anything. You don't even own yourself. First, according to the laws of mathematics, you must be at zero. You are zero. That's what the laws of mathematics say. You are zero. In order to get to zero, you have to own yourself. If you are below zero, that means you have no money. So every penny that you use every single day to buy anything is borrowed. Okay. So if you think you're going to be in the negative, then you're going to open a business and think you own a business. No, you don't. You don't own anything. Slaves can't. That's against the laws of mathematics. It is like a dangling carrot. It is. LJ, you've previously mentioned that when one is debt free, taxes are a friend, in essence, works on our side. Just wondering how so. May you please clarify? Okay, good question. All right. This is called phantom income. Okay. I'm going to use your 401k as an example. All right. Say like you are two people in you guys work a computer job. You guys both make exactly $100,000 a year. Okay. Now I can't right off the top of my head. I don't know what tax bracket that is, but it really doesn't matter once you see this example. One of you are debt free and the other is in debt, like $300,000 in debt. Okay. The one that's debt free can max out their 401k, putting $19,500 away into retirement. Okay. Because you have the money to do it. And at the and for doing that, the IRS says, by the way, also by doing this, you can also take $19,500 off of your annual income, which is going to lower you in your tax bracket. Okay, so you just got two things. You lowered yourself in your tax bracket, which is going to save you money. And at the same time, you put $19,500 in your retirement and it's growing when your 401k. Now, the person that's deep in debt cannot do that. They're $300,000 in debt, which means they cannot put any money in retirement. That means they cannot even lower their tax bracket. So since they have no money, they have to stay high in their tax brackets, which they cannot lower it because you have to have money to lower it. That's called phantom. That's how taxes work in your favor. You're going to do something that millions of slaves cannot do. They're in debt. They cannot do what I just told you to do. And so you see that everywhere, and then it saves you taxes. That's what I mean by that. That's why taxes are a friend. Taxes can help you build wealth. Only in order for taxes to be your friend, you cannot be in debt. That's basically the laws of mathematics. You have to own yourself first. Way more than 99%. Only 34 people had their loans for 34 people. Yeah. Now, if you want to ask me a question, you can. Here it is. And that was great question, K. I hope that did that make sense, KB? I really, because only a person that's debt free can understand what I just said. Believe that or not. Believe that, because what I just said, even though I explained it to you, slaves have no idea what I'm talking about. Even though I'm saying this out loud, they don't. They're like, "What do you mean?" Yes, I can. I am. They are taking money out of my check, and they're putting in there. I'm getting a match. I see it. So they believe it. That's mathematically impossible to save for retirement while you're having a mortgage. That's impossible. That's 100% impossible to save for retirement if you're making car payments. If your student loan debt is older than every single debt in your life, you own nothing. You can't own anything if your student loan is older than everything in your life. You can't. That's what the laws of mathematics say. Now, if you're listening to this and you're a slave with a mortgage and you believe you're a homeowner, this is what I want you to do. So slaves that hear me and still believe they're homeowners, okay? And I want you to I want you to do this with your own hand, okay? I want you to open up your calculator app on your phone. Then I want you to put in your monthly mortgage minus your mortgage balance, okay? Enter your monthly mortgage minus the total amount left on your mortgage, and then hit equal. You see that large negative number? That's how much of a homeowner you are. Yeah, that's your equity. See that number on your calculator? That's your equity in a house that you don't own. You never did. You're not a homeowner. Now, instead of getting upset, say to yourself, why do I believe I'm a homeowner knowing that I'm this far in the negative? Why do I believe that? That's the key. That's the answer. Wake up and say that. Why? All you got to do is look at the math on your calculator and say, I believe it. But if you don't, you will live in the debt matrix until you're dead. Now, I always got to come back in and reiterate this. I love the financial system. I don't want the majority to wake up. It wouldn't work without slaves. Do you understand that? The wealthy couldn't be wealthy if there were not slaves. We need slaves. That's why student loan debt, that's how they recruit slaves. I want you to understand that. That's how they make slaves. And again, it's by your choice. They didn't when I kept my student loans for 10 years, the government didn't make me keep my student loans for 10 years, okay? That was all on my own. When I signed up for student loans, in the paperwork it said, "Linnell, you're going to have to pay this back. Do you understand?" I said, "Yes," and I signed. You do know it's our rules with our money. I sure did, and I signed it. I said, "There you go. You signed it." The only way I got out of it, I had to pay back every single penny plus interest. Sure did. Sure did. You come on this side of the system. Oh, you'll see how lovely and beautiful it is. And I won't live long enough to see who came up with this design. I will never know that. I'm generations behind. Okay, I'm generations behind. I mean, look at it this way so you can understand how far I'm behind. My money versus Jeff Bezos's money. That's how far I'm behind. Once I wake up and then I look at Jeff Bezos' old interviews, I'm like, damn. Right there, he knew. I didn't know yet. I didn't know. Now I'm awake. Now I know. And then I look at him. I say, damn, I'm that far behind. Yeah, LJ, you're that far behind. That's going to take some generations. You'll never catch up with that. Your grandkids will catch up with him. How about that? I'm 29 years old, make 90, year 30 in savings, no debt. I'm not tied down. How can I optimize to build my wealth to live easier down the road? I'm currently trying to switch careers. Um, from the personal finance side, I would take advantage of all the retirement account stuff to save you on taxes because you're at 90K with no debt. You can bring your taxable income down while saving for retirement at the same time. So if you have a job, I would take advantage of that. I would also, since you're in your situation, I would come over to the Discord server where you got other SMD family members that can answer those types of questions outside of personal finance, because I don't talk about anything outside of personal finance. So I would strongly suggest you sign up. You click on the link under this video and you can join the Discord server. And there's SMD family members that have been deep outside the matrix farther than me that can really help you. You're currently trying to switch careers to make 150. And I want you to think about something too, Al. I remember I was doing what you're doing now, just keep moving up to a higher paying job. But I was noticing that each one of those moves wasn't really satisfying me. It would satisfy me about between 3 to 5 years, and I was just ready to go. I always had an itch to do something else. And each time I would go to the next thing, it never satisfied me. But remember, I was in debt during this time. Because had I been out of debt, I would have known why I was jumping around everywhere, because I needed to find something for myself. So what I do, I would strongly suggest is go ahead. You're 29. If you can get that 150 job, go ahead and do it. But at the same time, I want you to start thinking about your own shit. I want look at your job only as a tool that you're going to use to save the money to start something of your own. Okay. Straight up. Always do that. Always never stop thinking about, because I want you to understand this, Al. 40-hour work week, 5 days a week, Saturday and Sunday, holiday or weekends. That's all the program. Okay, none of that is real. It doesn't mean anything. Monday's no different than Saturday. It just seems that way when you're oh, thank God it's Friday. No, God made all 7 days. It just, you know what I'm saying? Get out of that. You want to work your way to get out of that program. Once you break that program, you will clearly see the sky's the limit. Sky's the limit. What's up, Dennis? Was the 2008 crisis just the system letting slaves indulge in too much? Now I think back out, because I was in the debt matrix at that time, right? But now that I'm out of the debt matrix, I would have clearly saw that housing market crash coming. That would have been so easy to see. That's not hard. That's not even hard to see. Like right now, a lot of slaves don't see the housing market crash coming. It's coming. Nothing's going to stop it. Nothing's going to stop the housing market crash. It is coming. It's a tsunami right now. Right now, it's just way out there. You can feel the wind. People are like, woo, wow, damn, that blew my hat off. Yeah, it's coming. It's coming. If I was debt free back in 2008, that would have been I wouldn't have had to watch no movie like some brainiac dude said, "Hey man, I'm a bet against the odds, and I'm a do this, and and then he became a multi. Hey, that was so easy to see. All you got to look right now, okay? Listen, I'm gonna tell you something that most of you guys can check on your own, okay? I'm gonna let you see something. You can choose to believe it or not, okay? Now, they paused the student loan debt. So now you don't have to make payments and interest not accruing, right? Nobody has to do that, right? So now slaves believe they have more money. Okay, I want you to see how it works. Now slaves believe they have more money at the end of the month because they're not paying monthly student loan debt, and they believe they're saving money because they're not paying taxes. I mean, paying interest. All right. So what they also did was slaves are not going to mind this either, because they know exactly what you're going to do. They removed student loan debt off of all three of your credit reports: Experience, TransUnion, and Equifax. It's just vanished. It's just gone. So all your payments and all your delinquencies and all that stuff, it's all removed temporarily though. So it just be out of sight, out of mind. What this is automatically going to do is increase your credit score and lower your debt to income ratio. Now you look like you ain't hardly got no debt. Your student loan debt could have been your biggest one on your credit report. You could have $20,000 in debt and in credit card debt and $100,000 in student loan debt. They removed that. Now it looks like you got $20,000 in debt. Voila. Now you can get approved for what? A house. And you're probably thinking, "Ooh, I better hurry up because I only got a small window because they're gonna put them back on in September." Yes, they are. That's gonna happen regardless. And you just said it out loud that it is, but you don't care. You're gonna go finance a house. That's exactly what they want you to do. That's why the rates are so good. Because they know only a slave would buy a house in the middle of a worldwide never seen before pandemic. Only a slave would finance a house with a subprime mortgage. That's financial suicide. But you're gonna do it. They're mitigating their losses right now because when it hits, guess who's guess when your house drops to below half value, guess who's going to be paying the same amount in mortgage? You are a slave. You you're going to be still paying the same mortgage which when your house is worth less than half of what you financed for. Sure is. You're going to be right there paying it. You see? And then when you're in the house, guess what? September comes, they're going to put them student loans back right on your credit report, bearing you deeper into slavery. You'll never get out, ever. I know that's a hard red pill to swallow. I know it is. That's a gigantic gulp. You better swallow it fast because this is right now you don't even understand. Right now is the beginning of the new economy. Right now. If you do whatever it takes to get to zero right now, I don't care this year, next year, at least within 5 years, okay? Within 5 years, do what you need to do to get to zero, right? It doesn't matter if you believe this a new economy happened, really happened. If it thinks it doesn't matter what you think, especially if you're a slave. Throw all that out the window and get out of debt. Waldemar Perez, Al doing good. Al doing good. I'm just trying to get to 60K, and that would be rich. That would be rich for me. What's up, Andre? Yeah, they pay you in dollars, but how much time are you paying? Exactly. If you if slaves knew, well, shit, they don't have no money anyway, so it don't really matter. Well, if they really, oh my God, man, I don't even want to think about that. Yeah, I'd like to own my own business. These stimulus checks are push us closer to that edge. Al says the career I'm going for would make 150 in 6 months and allow me to take 6 months off every year. I'm already planning my escape. Oh wow, okay, that is a nice plan. I'm looking to purchase a home in Colombia in the next 5 years. Wow, low tax country, living overseas is the plan for me. Yeah, you do. I always tell people like this, don't worry about what other people's version of retirement is and money. Whatever's going to be your peace, that's your peace, whatever that is. Poindexter says, I'm in Memphis. The real estate is on fire, trying to figure out where all this money is coming from, how everyone else house market, like it's all over the country. But you got to remember there's two players. Okay. The housing market is very hot, but for people that understand money, believe you me, they're waiting for the most of them are waiting for the crash. Okay. Most of them are waiting for the crash. They're letting the slaves just buy up these houses that they can't even afford. And when you hear, you got always listen, when it comes to money, real estate, when somebody tells you something, you always got to consider the source. If somebody's telling you the housing market is hot and they have student loans, that's not the person you're supposed to be listening to. Anything, and I promise you, let me tell you something straight, okay? You got to understand this. Anytime somebody comes out and tries to give you some financial advice on Bitcoin, real estate, saying the housing market's hot, whatever, right? You ask them, you got student loans? If they say yes, you better stop listening to them. They have no idea what they're talking about. None, zero. Know why? Because they're not at zero and they don't even know it. Anything they say cannot make any mathematical sense. And if it doesn't make mathematical sense, it cannot make financial sense. That's according to the laws of mathematics. Can anyone explain reverse mortgages? Someone Someone got one for my great aunt before she died, and we lost a house that she worked all her life for. It was in a decent neighborhood. Hmm. Yeah, those reverse mortgages, man. I don't know too. I know a little bit about them, but all I know is that they're bad news. Okay, they're not good. What's up, Alex? Now I'm gonna put this link up here if you guys got any questions. I'm gonna be going on. Young Grump's channel today. 5:30. It's gonna be at 5:30 today. At 5:30 today. So if you guys got any questions, I'd like to ask them now because we're only gonna go an hour. We're 35 minutes in right now. So if we don't get no questions, we're just gonna be ending an hour. LJ, from what I did read, it looks like a scam with reverse. Well, put it this way: it's not. It's if reverse mortgages are legal. Okay, let's make sure we got something straight here. Okay, if reverse mortgages are legal, it's not a scam. Okay, just like multi-level marketing, it's legal, so it's not a scam. You understand? But if you just did the math, you would know a reverse mortgage is illegal according to the laws of mathematics. Okay, because if you apply if you ran that through the laws of mathematics, the laws of mathematics would say that's illegal because it wouldn't make any mathematical sense. But you have to know that. You know, people call multi-level marketing blah 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 a scam. It's not a scam, but if you just do the math, you'll say, "Oh, okay, I'm not really a business owner." That doesn't make any math. No, it doesn't make any mathematical sense. But it's legal. Reverse mortgages add. What you mean, Andre? Oh, because they have no income or assets. Oh. Mm-hmm. That's why when I hear people say, "Man, we lost our house and we've been in this house all of our life." I mean, I say to myself, first of all, you can't lose something you own. You can't do that. So obviously they didn't own it. And so what they're also saying is that they paid on something all of their life and they still don't own it. Man, we've been living in that house for 30 years and we lost the house because we missed a payment. You've been paying on the house for 30 years and you still don't own it? And again, that's why this is a superpower to know this knowledge because slaves don't know they say those things out loud. They don't know they get on TV and say, "Hey, I lost my house because of this." You didn't lose anything because you never owned it. You can't lose what you own. If they own the house, they would never say they lost it. And people say this out in the open. There's my website scrolling on the bottom. You want a consultation? There you go. Just sit there. Good. You don't have to. Oh, this one I want to make clarify because I'm getting a lot of this. You don't have to prepare anything. You don't have to get a hold of your credit report when you set up a consultation. You don't have to. You don't have to bring anything. You don't have to. Get a hold of all three of your credit reports. See what your credit score is. I don't care about what's on you. I mean, if you ask for my services, I'll care, but I won't care what's on your credit report and what your credit score is because credit scores only matter anything to slave. It don't mean anything, right? We're going to get on the phone and we're going to talk about why you reached out to me. Okay. Because there's a reason if you're coming to get a consultation, there's a reason why you're reaching out to me. We're going to talk about that reason. Okay. Because it takes a lot. And I know when you come here to SMD, I know what it sounds like I'm asking you to do. Change everything about money that you have been taught growing up all your life? Yes, I am. Yes, I am. You have to unlearn all that. Can't buy anything without a good credit score. You ain't nothing without good credit. You want a person with good, yeah, you got to eliminate all that because that has nothing to do with anything. That's all part of the program. The credit system, those are each private businesses. That should be a sign right there. Slaves should wake up and say, hey, wait a minute, credit is private business? Yeah, it's private business. Sure is. They're making money? Yes. Off of you. Selling your information, doing all that. Don't you wonder why random stuff just pops in your mailbox? Because they sell it. You signed up. The reason I think the concept of property tax should be illegal. Um, Put it this way, okay? And I came up. This is my own opinion about property tax. Okay, this is my own opinion. If they didn't tax the land, we'd run out of land. Because think about it: if somebody bought a piece of land, right? So, say like a slave got lucky, bought some land, and then got the land and just didn't do nothing, just didn't work, didn't do anything, just sat around, didn't participate in the system at all. That land would just remain in that person, just there forever, right? But if there, you got to think about it this way, and this is my own view of it. Slaves don't know they're slaves. They also don't know they'll never own anything. But if they happen to come across, say, like they own some land, they could own it forever, and then nobody could ever get it. See what I'm saying? There's a purpose for it, because I just think if each person bought a land and it was just theirs and they don't have to pay nothing on it, they could just sit on it forever and not, and we just run out of land. Save me, Bernie Sanders. Who's supposed to pay off my fashion degree? I know, right? People think, but I know you guys think I'm joking when I say this, but it's not true. All they got to do, I know you guys think I'm joking. All they have to do is say they're going to pay off student loan debt. They don't have to actually do anything. All they have to do is say it. One slave will get a hold of that and say, hey, I heard they were going to pay off student loan debt. I heard the president say it or somebody say it, and then they'll spread it like wildfire because that's what they want to hear. They want to hear somebody's going to save them. Also, there are slaves, when that keeps spreading, there's like, hey, they're going to pay off student loan debt. Other slaves will sign up for school, get student loan debt with the same assumption in mind that student loan debt is going to be paid off one day. So they're going to hurry up and get their degree. They pay it off. They think they're going to get it for free. No, that's how they make slaves. All slaves have to do is hear it, and then they'll do it. Hey, you guys, we're going to stop interest and payments. You don't have to pay. That's the slaves love that. Oh, now I got more money. No, you don't, slave. You don't got no more money. I see something like this in the Dominican Republic. There's just one time tax when you initially buy in the land and no taxes after that. Plenty of people sitting on land. See, that's what I picture. People just sitting on the land and they could just sit on it forever. But if there are millions of people, millions of slaves that don't understand how money works, man, that's how they keep it cycling through, because they know it doesn't matter. Say like there was one person in the family that understood money, and he got a hold of a piece of land and he got a house and he paid it off and he was happy about it. He's like, cool. If he didn't teach that same knowledge to his family and he passes it to a family member who's a slave, guess what that family member is going to do? They're either going to sell or they're going to refinance the house and the land. You think the bank is going to turn down or refinance? All Put it this way: it gets inherited to somebody else, right? One of the kids and the kid turns out to be a slave, and then they say, you know what, my dad handed me this house and this land, it's mine now, And then the bank is going to be reaching out to them. Hey, you want to refinance? You know how much money you can get? $100,000. All they got to do is run that person's credit report, see that they're a slave, and take full advantage of them and snatch it up. So it's pointless. It won't matter if one person knows and they pass it down to a slave. Everything is, and then you're dead. It's see you later. It's going to be gone bye bye to either another slave or somebody that knows. You guys, I hope you guys, when you get out of the debt matrix, you'll see how it all works. It's not hurting anybody. Everybody's slaves choose to be slaves. Okay, nobody's holding anybody back. All you got to do is trust mathematics, and then you'll know. You see how, oh, once you get out of debt matrix, you'll look at public schools and you'll be like, oh, gotcha. That's why public schools are taught this curriculum. Oh, okay, I get it. I remember being in grade school and then going up to middle school and then high school. Then I started getting into algebra and then calculus and all this other stuff because I used to love math, right? But I'm telling you, anything past the grade school math, I used to literally say to myself, when am I going to use this in the real world? Never going to use any of that. I've never once, if you know, it would be amazing to solve an equation in algebra, XY equals Y. And I'd be like, cool, I got it. But I used to say to myself, when am I going to ever use that in the real world? Never. Distractions. It's nothing more than that. It don't mean anything. Unless you're planning on, unless you're planning on dropping a rover on Mars, you're never going to use algebra or calculus. Never. Don't even make any sense. You won't use none of that. I used to say that in school. Yep. Sure did. And you know what's crazy? Like even when I was in math class, they used to always say, "Oh man, you know the Chinese people, man, they're always the smartest in the class." You know, and out of what happened, it was usually like that. The Chinese were smart. The Chinese kids in the class always were good at math, and I would just, here I am, just this because I was hearing it wrong, right? You think it has something to do with their color or their ethnicity? No, Chinese people just understand that math and finances go together. That's all that is. And then the Chinese parents, they just teach their kids, "Hey, check this out. This is math. This is what you use when you talk about when you deal with money, you always use this." I was too young to say, "Hey, maybe I should start studying math a little harder." No, it wasn't. I got caught up thinking it had something to do with their ethnicity or the color. This It's so stupid when you think about it. It's dumb. I don't want to I don't want own a company that doesn't pay a dividend. I don't want to live in a place that doesn't have property tax. That doesn't have property tax. I worry when someone says they don't like taxes. I know, right? When you say that, when you complain about taxes, and I didn't know that until I got out of the debt matrix, okay? When you complain about taxes, you don't know what you're saying. You really I didn't I mean, I was never the one to complain about taxes cuz it's like you hear people complain about it all the time. It's almost like you got to get on the bandwagon and start complaining about them all the time. It's just the weirdest thing, right? But again, that's part of the program. That's part of the program to get one slave to say something, and then they say another, and then they just go on and on and on. Then like everybody believes. No, they're not. That says a lot about you. My sister just bought a new car, and my other sister bought a house. After I pay off the 7,000 left on my car, I'm never getting a finance car again, right? They're part of they're part of the matrix. You get a house, you finance a house and you finance a car in the middle of a worldwide never seen before in this century pandemic. Something's Yeah, you don't get it. You definitely don't you don't understand. If you have if you have PMI in your mortgage, Yeah, you don't understand. Exactly. Only slaves complain about taxes. Only slaves. But income tax is taking money out of my pocket I could be using for something else. Are are you in debt, Waldemar? Waldemar, excuse me, Waldemar. Are you in debt? Because I promise that statement right there, that says more about you. Okay, and not in a negative way. I'm trying to tell you something mathematically speaking. It's saying more about you. Now, since Andre said it, I'm gonna let him explain it because I'm not. I'm not going to explain what Andre's just saying right now. Then don't do. Yeah, I know you're probably looking at that. What do you mean? No, that's Andre's department. All right, we got about 9 minutes. If there's not going to be any questions, we're going to get off here in nine. Again, I'm gonna be on Young Grump's channel at 5:30. Spitting some knowledge at the youngsters over there. Okay, so there's my Cash App consultation. Join the Discord server. It's in the link. I strongly suggest if you want to talk to Andre and people like Andre and the SMD family over there, I strongly suggest you click on the Discord link under the details of this video. It's under every video, and join the Discord server over there. Come over there and make sure you use your when you come on. If your name is not the same name that you use on YouTube, just tell us what your YouTube name is so we know who you are. Okay, cool. All right, appreciate that, Waldemar. I'm glad you were able to take constructive, advice, because a lot of people can't. Because like when we explain this to people that don't get it, most people think we're trying to belittle them or talk down to them or make them sound like they're stupid or something. No, it's not. It sounds like that because it's so simple, right? It's this is to become wealthy is so simple. It's insulting. Like when you're in a debt matrix, becoming wealthy sounds like the most complicated thing in the world. Oh my God, how can I can ever catch up with Jeff Bezos or Elon Musk? Once you get out of debt matrix, it's like, oh, it's that way. Gotcha. I was going the wrong way. I was going south and when I should have been going north. You mean below zero is in the negative? Yes, that's the wrong way. If you keep going that way, you're never going to catch up with Jeff Bezos ever. You can't. You got to go, pump your brakes and say, I'm supposed to go north. Yes, north. Cool. I hope you guys got that. Let me throw this in here just in case somebody too lazy to go over and get the link. I'll put the link in here right now. You Hyphy in the room? I don't know if anybody else is in the room. Hyphy usually be creeping in the background. But if not, I'm gonna run over here and grab this. All right, here's the link to the Discord server. So I strongly suggest if you want to get some information past personal finances, you want the right answers from a debt-free SMD family member that understands how it works, I strongly suggest you go over there and join. All right, you get those kind of questions answered. I just don't talk about that stuff here because I'm look at me as like the foundation. I'm not going to pass you to if you don't get past here. I'm not going to pass you on to the other SMD family members. They don't want to start from the ground. I mean, the ground floor is the bottom. You got to at least have a foundation. Okay. Oh, okay, cool. Yeah, that's right. That's right. Yeah, that was, man. I forgot about that. That was a while ago, man. Solo got me on the show. Show did. I forgot about that. Shout out to Solo TV 84. Once you get on the other side, once you get on the other side of zero, north of zero, you're going to realize right now when you're in debt, you don't understand that time is the most precious thing on earth, right? You don't understand time is the most important commodity on earth, because when you're a slave, you don't own the time in your life. Somebody else does. Somebody else owns the time in your life, but you don't know that when you're a slave. But once you're free, you'll realize that you'll come on the other side of zero. You're like, oh shit, I'm gonna be dead one day. Yeah, one day you're gonna die. So by default, that means time is the most valuable thing on earth. Time. And you won't waste it. You most definitely will never ever let others waste it. They'll think you're an asshole, you're a prick, what's wrong with you, blah, blah, blah. It doesn't matter what they think. They're saying stuff like that because they don't own the time in their own lives. Again, if you have a student loan and you have convinced yourself that you'll never pay it off, you'll never know what I'm talking about, because you cannot ever, you will never, ever, ever be able to own the time of your life as long as you have a student loan. That's impossible. You can't. So you'll never know what this feels like when I'm describing to you. You can't. Now, that's a huge red pill to swallow. Huge, man. That's huge. You'll never know what it's like to be free. Because I tell you this, there's nothing like it. Nothing compares to it. Nothing. You won't care what people have. You won't care what kind of house they have. You won't care what you see on social media. You won't care about their cars and their jewelry. You won't care about any of that. None of that. That's all an illusion. You don't know what you don't know. Slaves can't own anything. So if 97% of people are in debt in the United States, the majority of what you see is an illusion. It's a mathematical illusion. It doesn't exist. The people showing you don't even know it doesn't exist. Those are unconscious slaves. They have no idea what they're showing you. They don't even own, because they don't even own themselves. Now that I'm 51, man, I even check this out. I even look at old people different. When I see somebody that looks like they're 80, probably almost 90, and they're walk like I saw one today. This guy had to been in his 80s, and he was bringing up stuff to the counter to buy his stuff, his groceries. Now, when you're young, you'd be like, man, this whole person's taking a long time. You know what I see? This dude, out of all the people that grew up in his time, out of all his family members, his friends, he made it to this point. He's here. He's here buying groceries in front of me. You see what I'm saying? He's here. He was dressed nice, probably he was dressed really nice. So I'm assuming he was getting ready to go to church or coming from church. And I thought to myself, he made it this far. Because I got friends right now, I'm 51, that didn't make it where I'm at today at 51. I remember having some friends die when I was early 20s. And until you're older, you don't realize, like, 20s and stuff, even 30s, that's just beginning of life. That's just the beginning. But when you're that age, you don't know that you're new to earth. You don't realize, even though you physically understand, hey, I was just born 20 years ago. There's people been here 30, 40 years longer than me. You don't even think like that. You just think everybody's old. No, you're young. And if you don't know that when you're young, if you don't recognize that you are new to earth, people that been here longer are going to financially abuse you, because you think, since we were here first, we're old. That doesn't even make any sense. No, you're young. You're brand new to earth. Welcome. Hey, by the way, this is how things work. Oh, you don't want to hear what I got to say? Oh, okay. Whatever. Get your ass in the debt matrix then. See ya. They got a place for you right in the debt matrix. Right there. Get on in there. And just think, you get in a debt matrix that's financially, and then you start breaking laws, and then you get in the system, and then you start getting debt you cannot bankrupt. You start getting that kind of debt that you cannot bankrupt, you're done. You are done. Mm, mm, mm. Yes, indeedy, man. Let me tell you something, man. Let me make sure it's clear so you understand something. Do not fall for the program. Hey, I'm getting old. I'm almost 30. This is when it happens. I'm supposed to have this house. I'm getting really old, and I'm not a kid anymore. That's all the program. Yes, you are. 30 is when it starts, baby. 30 is when it starts. And with this knowledge right here, and you 28, with this knowledge, you are going to kill anything that has to do with financial. You will kill it. You will know how to build a team. You don't even know, you just need to know what you're going to do. You'll know exactly how to pick the right people on your team to put them in the right spots to make you successful. All you got to do is ask to see their credit report. If their credit report looks like yours, you guys are on the same page. Imagine how many people got accountants out there that are buried in student loan debt. Can you imagine? Imagine how many people have hired, they're paying, they're paying these accountants with student loans older than their children. But slaves don't know to ask to say, "Hey, accountant, yeah, why do you have 20-year-old student loans? You're gonna balance my books, but you haven't even balanced your own? Oh no, you can't touch my books. Nope, sorry." What's up, Sal's? LJ, the people my age, especially the men, they haven't done much or think they should be further in life than they are now. I can't wait to be 30. Yeah. They haven't done much or think they should be further. Yeah, that's all part of the program. You get to about you're almost 30. The program will make you seem like you should be further ahead in life, but they don't really understand what is their version of further in life. You should have a house and a mortgage. You should have a nice car. You should be making six figures. All that is bullshit. None of that's true. That's a program. That's all part of the matrix. Okay. The only like when they say, "Hey, man, you, when you buy a ring, it should be a month of your salary." It says who? Who said that? The jeweler? The jeweler's telling you how you gonna spend your money? Oh, a ring should be this much. A ring should be this much of your money. Who says that? No, a ring is going to be whatever I decide. Whatever's in the bank, that's what it's going to be. Don't fall for that program. You don't. Kids just don't happen. Okay. Oh, you can't plan for a kid. Yes, yes, you can. First, you own yourself. First, own yourself before you have children. You must own you. Because if you're owned and you have a baby, that baby is also owned. Do you understand? Once you own yourself, you're not gonna have a child by a slave. I promise you. Once you're free, man or woman, it doesn't matter. You're not gonna have a baby. You're not gonna biologically tie yourself to a slave for the next 18 to 20 years of your life. You will never ever do that. You will guys before marriage and before kid, you guys will be on pretty much 99% on this, especially financial. You'll be on 100% of the same page. Financially, oh yeah, you guys will be right on the same page. There will be no secrets. Everybody will know everything. What's up, big truck? I'm so disgusted overhearing the slaves chatting about the stimulus welfare checks. Yes, they do. Those slaves that'll listen. Everybody, and I want to make sure everybody that's listening, make sure they understand this is clear. Everything is a choice. Slaves choose to be slaves. They choose it. Slaves don't even, the best kind of slaves to have is the slaves that don't know they're slaves. Those are the best, and that's the majority. 90% of the, I guarantee you, 97% of people are in debt in the United States of America. They're in debt, business and personally. Business debt is different from people that are not in debt compared to people that are in debt. If you're, put it this way, if your student loans are older than your business, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong. Big truck, man. Anyway, we're gonna wrap this up. I want you guys to check out Young Grumps 5:30. I'm gonna post his I'm going to post his link in the thing right now. And I will see if you guys can join, please do. I'm not saying you have to, of course, but there's the link to Young Grumps channel. Check him out. Young brother, I think he's in his mid-20s, something like that. I like talking to the young brothers sometimes to kind of snap them back into reality sometimes too. So, all right, so I'll see you guys over there. Hope you guys get that link. Again, if you want to join the Discord server and talk to other SMD family members with more knowledge on the outside the debt matrix answers, I strongly suggest you come over there. Andre said he's going to be on there at 8 o'clock tonight. I'm assuming that's Eastern time, Andre, 8 o'clock Eastern. I think you're East Coast, right, Andre? East Coast time zone. All right, you guys have a wonderful evening. All right, later.